We want to hear about the administration side of things at the moment because there's a lot of things happening at the Melbourne Football Club. And you may have seen during the week a very progressive, exciting thing, I guess, happening in the AFL is women's football. And we were part of 8 teams accepted into the very first professional, I mean we've been doing it for a few years anyway, we know this, but identified as being the first 8 teams in the competition for women's. We're involved. Peter, you must be pretty proud.
Yes, fantastic to be involved in that. I think it's a very progressive step for the AFL to create a women's competition. The other sports have been doing it for some time, cricket and soccer and the like. Girls get to represent both at elite level. So it's a very progressive and it's an important step for AFL because AFL's talked a lot about diversity, but it hasn't really done much over the journey. I'm pleased to say that there's been people in the Melbourne Footy Club who have been doing this for 7 or 8 years, and it started with sponsorship of the Victoria Women's Football League. It's progressed from there, and people like Debbie Lee and Jen Plott really got involved in getting the AFL to sanction the first game against the Bulldogs back in 2013. I know I walked into the footy club in May 2013. 2 weeks later attended the first draft and didn't even know what we were doing there. Luckily we won the toss of the coin and picked Daisy Pearce, and she's been fantastic since and now works at the club. Not that we're tampering with the draft, I would deny that categorically. But it is a great move for the AFL, and I don't know what sort of attention is created in the state, but the sort of attention that's created all through schools. I hear fathers with 15, 16-year-old girls at some of the private schools now, and they're saying the girls want to play footy. The schools can't get enough girls to make the lower down netball teams. The private school competition is really, really strong. There was 130 girls at Melbourne Girls Grammar School last year that played AFL football. So it's really on the move. It's just fascinating how quickly it's growing. And, we also hear that with quite the athletic elite athletes who have been representing Australia and will in the next couple of months over in Rio, that generally they've done it really hard. They haven't had the resources, haven't had the salary. And they're going to go and represent the country and then give a lot of thought to whether they should start developing an AFL career after that. So there's pretty exciting times the next 4 or 5 years, and I just think this club was a founding club back in 1858. We were founded, but a founding club of the competition for the VFA, and we've done it again. So I just think that's really appropriate.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. Very reticent to say anything about being in a good position, we're winning games, all that sort of stuff, because the reality is we still haven't won as many games as we won last year, but we do see talent out in the park, we see a way forward, and it was really great to hear Craig Jennings talk about football and the way they're going about it at the moment. He seems like he knows a lot, doesn't he? And that's what I'm going to base this next question around. I had lunch, as I said, a couple of days ago with a great man that you know very well, Neil Danaher, and he talked a lot about the Melbourne Football Club back in the early 2000s not having a lot of facility in terms of other coaches, in terms of good people around him, and he had to do a lot. So his quote was always, know your role, play your role, get good people in. I think that's what you've been doing, basically. That's been your game plan since you got to Melbourne World Cup. Can you talk to us a bit about what's happening with blokes like Craig Jennings at the club at the moment? There seems to be a lot going on.
That was really the most important thing we do. I don't know if I've said it publicly in front of this group before, but I think football is our core business, and everything should be focused on football. And that can be a lot of different things, and I'm not sure the club quite understood that, what it took to be a very successful football club. A lot of people try and diligently off the field to keep the thing going from a financial perspective, but the best way to be financially sustainable is win games of football. That's the most simple, straightforward way to be a financially good club. So we, over the journey, you bring in a guy like Paul Roos. What he offers is the attractiveness to other people to come in and join that journey. So Rosie comes in and he brings in a few apprenticeship players from Sydney as his backup coaching panel. And then when we're looking for a transition or a succession plan, we can get someone the quality of Simon Goodwin. When McCartney becomes available in the Bulldogs, and we ring him up the day after and say, call us when you're ready. He calls us when he's ready. He looks at the talent on the list. He looks at the people around and says, yeah, I'd like to be at the Melbourne Football Club. And then Craig Jennings, who had a little bit to do with appointing at Essendon way back then. I know he's mad. He's a mad scientist. I didn't hear him speak, but I don't know if you all understood exactly what he was talking about. But he is very good. He talks very, very quickly. So he went off the Bulldogs with Macca, and when Macca became available, Craig didn't want to stay there. So we're starting to get some really, really good people around, and Todd Viney with Jason Taylor done an excellent job. We started to do that even before I got there, so they know what they're talking about with talent. I think the proof of the pudding's there. So I think, I said to Coterie down in Melbourne, as a Melbourne supporter, don't worry about Paul Roos leaving at the end of this year, and don't worry about Peter Jackson when he leaves either, because that's not really the issue. The role of Paul and myself was to build people around a football club that were really good, that's going to make your football club a sustainable, successful club. And whereas we only won 4 games the first year and 7 the second, and I don't know what this year's going to be, we know we're looking for sustainable success. We're not looking for immediate short-term success to fly a kite about what we might have achieved in the short term. We want to be sitting here in 2020 and seeing you guys enjoying this football club, because the people we've brought in now, the players we've brought in 14, 15, 16 are driving that football club then.
So you've got another year to go, PJ, before we finish this up. But John Trotter and I have been talking. We're working on a Buddy Franklin-esque 10-year extended multi-million-dollar contract for you. We'll pitch that to you a little bit later on. So you may be in a wheelchair before you leave, because we enjoy what you're doing very much. Let's talk about the balance sheet. Yeah, thank you. Let's talk about the balance sheet. Let's talk about the business of Melbourne, how we're structuring up to move forward financially. Are we happy with the way things are going there?
Oh yeah, I'm very happy. On a couple of counts, the AFL understands what it needs to do to make 18 clubs sound and successful, support them, and the 18 clubs more or less understand it. There's a bloke down in Melbourne who likes to talk a lot about how poor everyone else is, but his own footy club isn't going real well at the moment. We did them over pretty easily last Monday, not that I'll mention who they are. But he sees life a certain way and thinks he's paying all our salaries, but it's not quite that way, because just so you understand, if you ever get into a debate with friends of yours who carry for those other bigger clubs, I mean, I came from a bigger club and I sort of know the reality of the situation. But the fixture is not fair, we all know that, and it can't be fair unless you play 34 games, and that's not going to happen. So what the AFL is doing is trying to maximise the commercial value of the fixture. And what that means is you have a lot of derbies, whichever city you come from. So get big crowds and big TV ratings, and then you have the Collingwoods, Essendons, Richmonds, Carltons playing each other twice. And when you multiply all that out, there's not too many games left over. So what happens is these clubs, the recipient clubs as we call them, the ones that get extra help, and Melbourne's one of those, we tend to play smaller clubs as a result. But we use the commercial value that comes out of the TV deal and the sponsorship from that fixture and to help the smaller clubs. I'm just explaining the background legalisation, so I think it's really important to understand. And so if you look at sort of 2011, Melbourne Footy Club now has played 10 more interstate games than it did in 2011, and Collingwood plays 3 less. And so that's the sort of thing. If you want to understand what Eddie really thinks about equalisation, ask him if you only would play Essendon once and Carlton once, you'd have to go and play Greater Western Sydney twice. See what he would say. And so they're a lot better off out of their fixture, and the whole competition is better off. So that's the background to equalisation. It's important for you guys to remember that if you ever want to get into a Scouts over a beer somewhere with some people that don't know what they're talking about. I think on the other side, that has helped us a bit. Everything we've got from the AFL Extra, which is about $1.5 million a year, has gone into the footy department. It's gone in to employ those sort of people I talked about. We used to have development resources of 2 people, now we've got 7. And so, that comes at a cost and investment, and it's designed with Christian Petrarca and Christian Saylor and those sort of kids, very good footballers, but how do we turn them into really excellent AFL players? And this club hasn't had a record of doing that over the last 15 years. So our investment in footy's gone up dramatically, but we've still been able to generate profits in around about $500,000 or $600,000, and I expect to do that again this year. Despite, so we're not keeping the money from the AFL, that's what I'm trying to say. The AFL's not making us earn a profit. We're investing all that into resources and costs in the football clubs. So we're making our profit out of what we used to do, but doing a lot better. We've got good range of sponsors, and we've got a full book of sponsors. The membership's going up, the crowds are up dramatically, as I thought they would as soon as we started playing decent football. The crowds have gone up about 10 or 15% again this year. All that's really, really important in underwriting the financial position of the footy club. So I'm pretty confident this year, as long as the team sort of can keep winning every second week and come out at about 10 or 11 wins, that you guys are going to stay on board and go and see them play good footy, because I think you can cope with a loss against Hawthorn, provided it's sort of level at three-quarter time, and today's important. Of course we want to win, but today's important because they're a very good footy team, so how do we go against a very good footy team? So if we keep winning our fair share until the next 1 or 2 years when we start to become a really good footy team, financially I think we're in a pretty good place.
One more question. Before I let you go, PJ, we have to address the elephant in the room, Jesse Hogan. We know that it's going to take a bit of money, because we're on the subject of money, to keep him involved, but is that what it's about? Is it about paying this young man? Because we can talk about him as Jesse Hogan. There are a lot of guys that are playing pretty well at the moment and probably demand a little bit more cash. How do you fit them all into this?
That shouldn't be too... I mean, I hope it is a problem 7 or 8 years down the track. I hope they're all so damn good and back to back to back that it becomes a problem. But it's not a problem in the foreseeable future. And I mean, Hawthorn's a really, really good example. Under the salary cap, all clubs can pay 44 players about $10 million. That's a rough number. And so Hawthorn, having played in 4 grand finals, are more or less paying for the same salary payroll that Brisbane are, and Carlton are, and Melbourne were. And so they're staying at their club because they believe in the culture, they believe in the football club, and they believe they're going to have success. So they're individually playing for a massive discount to what each one of them is potentially worth individually. And I reckon that's a great statement about where you want to get your football club. And I think I say that because I reckon that's where Jesse will be. I don't see Jesse as being just out for the money. I don't think he'll do a Gary Ablett, go up to a club for whatever Gary got paid, which was obviously a lot. I reckon he's more goal-oriented and competitive, and I think all we need to do is convince him that he will achieve the success he craves at the Melbourne Football Club with the guys he's got now, rather than somewhere else. If we can do that, I think he will stay on. Of course, we'll have to pay his fair whack, but we'll have to do that with Petrarca, and Maxie's got his hand up. Well, he's got his hand up. He'll have his hand up when his time comes around to do playing like this. But, these are things you've got to, but you keep changing your list and you find a way of working it out. But I think that's the issue. The Hawthorn model, the Sydney model, they actually have players staying because of culture and taking a discount as a result.
PJ, thank you very much for joining us in the room today. We really do appreciate your time and information. One more thing before we go.
I just want to thank you guys for your support of the footy club. It's great when you come to an interstate game and the players see the red and blue out in the ground and making a lot of noise, and the cheer squad making that noise, so we really do thank you. I'm pretty disappointed in you lot though, I've got to say. It's been a long while since we played at the SCG, So I arranged for the AFL for us to come and play here this year, and you put on bloody weather like this. Anyway, thanks very much for your support, and we hope you have a good day.